together off shoulder, asymmetric cut together off shoulder. So it's going to be a 2-in-1 class. You'll be able to learn cut together off shoulder. What does that mean? It means an off shoulder that the sleeve is cut together with the bodice like a kimono. So in the off shoulder, you will not see, there will be no armhole. The sewing will be at the side like a kimono. So it's called off shoulder cut together. But we're going to be spicing it up, and there's going to be an asymmetry off shoulder cut together. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. Subscribe to the channel. If you're a regular person, thank you for watching the videos. Please subscribe, put on the notification bell so they can know when we drop the video. So for this off shoulder cut together, what do you need on the measurement? The only difference you need is just your body. So you can see, let's say we need like 2 measurements, you know, the off shoulder length and the off round. So for my off round, you're going to do tight around the body, very tight, you know. So you can see that I can't easily move my hand. It has to be really firm, and then you go, you know, just round the body. See my tape measure, so you just go round the body. Yeah, so I'm a 42 all round. So the second measurement you will also be taking is your front bodies. So that's from one armhole running to the front to the other armhole. What I notice about this is that the front is always a little less than the round off. So my front is a 20, so very smartly 20 from one front to the other. That's from the middle of my body to the middle of my body. So if I'm not wearing something like this, you can still measure just the middle of my body. So for my front, I'm a 420, but for the round, I'm a 40. So that's just to tell you that the front bodies, the front shoulder is not as wide or as broad as the back shoulder. So those are the 2 measurements you need. And then the off length. Off length is definitely wherever you want your off to be, you know, just on the body. Now this time around, I'm measuring around the armhole. Please pay attention to that, around the armhole, so that I will know where I want the offness to be around the armhole. So for this off now, I'm going to be working with a 5, yeah, 5 inches off shoulder, or I could do it 4 inches. So that's just what we need. And then is that, like I said, it's going to be an asymmetric neckline. So I have my full bodies with me. You have to draft on the full bodies. Yeah, so the first thing you also need to consider is, like I said, I want to say the style again so that I know what I'm doing. Okay, so the first thing you will need to consider is, so this is the style. Okay, like, and I would have put it in the beginning of the video, so I'll just look at it and just, you know, work with it. Now this style was cut in the middle. That's because they slit it in the middle. But if I'm going to make mine, I'm not going to put any, there's not going to be a line in the middle. Yeah, so this is just what I just saw the style, I loved it, and I just felt people who came from it. Okay, so the first thing you will know is that you should have an high neck. You should have an high neck. So for my high neck, what do I use? Is 3 inches, which is just my basic neckline. So I'm just going to make this a 3 inch, just increasing it to 3 is 2.75. so my high neck 3 inches. Okay, then so that's the first thing. So what I want to first do is that you now extend your neckline. Just extend your neckline. Now second thing, once you have your basic bodies, you notice I did not cut the armhole. You're not going to cut your armhole, you're just going to leave it like that. You're not cutting your armhole, you will just leave it like this. So the armhole, you're going to have the extra space so that you can do your off shoulder cut together. Okay, so once you have the extra space, take your tape measure, or take your ruler, extend your neckline, bring it down, just continue on your neckline, whatever neckline you have, or your shoulder line, so you can see I draw my shoulder line down. I hope you can see the choke. I realize that sometimes my biro is not always bright enough. I can't find my marker, so I'm just going to be working with the chalk. So I'm just going to extend my shoulder line, both of them, all the way down. Okay, so extend your shoulder line all the way down. That's the first thing. The next thing we will do is to get our front bodice. So my front bodice is definitely a 20 inches. So 20, if we half it from the middle, will give us a 10. Yeah, so this is 10 inches. So I'm going to mark my 20. So you put whatever your full front, the front bodice measurements that we did not round. You know, we did the off shoulder round and we did just the front. That's from the center of one arm to the other arm. That's the one we will be using. Okay, so my one is 20, so that means half of it is 10. So 10 is on my middle bodice, and I just mark on my 20, and then I mark on 0. Okay, so that's the beginning and the end of my draft. What I'm going to do now again is to roll the line. So I will roll that my bodice on the armhole, both sides, so I know the beginning of my offness and I know the end of it. Okay, so just do, okay, so the two sides. Okay, so that is done. The next thing we will do is to now get your off length. You know that the normal off length we did, so like I said, I'm going to just so 4, 2, so I'm just going to leave it at 4 inches. For off shoulder cut together, it should not be too low. It should not be as low as the normal cut together. So my off length, I'm doing it at 4. Yeah, so I'll just define the curved neckline. That's the regular off. Okay, so normally let me first define this neckline firstly. So if I wanted to do off shoulder cut together, just the simple one, I would have just done, this. So I'm just putting my ruler on that line just to draw the curve. So this is a simple curve. If I want the neckline to be deeper than this, I'll make it deeper than this. So if I wanted to cut just the simple cut together, so you get the off length on your armhole, then you draw the line from one mid arm to the other mid arm. The next thing you want to do is get the sleeve. Now for off shoulder cut together, the sleeve is always very small, nothing more than 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to do it at 2 inches, and then you will now bring that back into, okay, now, well, you should also note that for your off shoulder cut together, you should draft a sleeveless bodice. So I'm first going to draft my sleeveless bodice, which is 1 inch higher than my normal bodice. So I'm going to be using the sleeveless armhole for it. So I draft my, that's 1 inch above my normal bodice. Okay, so this is my new armhole. So one thing about this off shoulder is that wherever it is on the sleeve, it shouldn't, on the armhole is not the same on the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I'm just going to extend it up a little. I'm going to extend it up a little. Okay, so and then I'll mark the sleeve now. So the sleeve, like I said, I'm just going to do a 2 inch. So mark your 2 inches up on, so mark your 2 inches from the offness. So I'm doing 2 inches, yeah, and the second one I do my 2 inches too. So once you get your offness from it, this was more than 1 inch. So once you get your your sleeve, now you just bring your sleeve into the armhole and draw it back, into the armhole and draw it back. So you bring your 2 that means we are only going to be cutting just this part. This is where the hand will come out from. So you have this, and we have the offness on the body. Now this middle body can go lower than this, depends on what you want. So whatever you want, you'd have to define it. So I go to the middle arm right like that. So that 2 inches, bring it into the armhole and bring it back. Okay, so you have our bodies like that. That's just the off shoulder cut together. Obviously when you're doing on the bodies, you would add your sewing allowance. Okay, so our work for the day is not done. That's just the regular off shoulder cut together. So if you want to do your off shoulder cut together, that's just what you need. You get your full bodies, leave your armhole into it. The first thing you need to do is, what is your full front from the middle of the arm to the middle of the arm? Half it, or no, just get that. Obviously half should be in the middle. Mine was 20, so 10 was in the middle, 10 here, 10 here. I drew the line. The next thing is my off length on the sleeve. What was my off length on the sleeve? My off length on the sleeve was 4, so I marked it on the armhole. Sorry, I marked it and I drew it a little up. And then what do you want for the sleeve? So the sleeve is just always a simple sleeve, so just a 2 inches sleeve. So I did a 2 inches sleeve. Then you curve it into your armhole and you curve it back. You can see that I already also increased my armhole. My armhole, this is my normal armhole, but for sleeveless I increased it to 1 inch above my normal armhole. Okay, so that's that. So the next thing we want to do is now doing the sleeve that we bargained for. Okay, so if you look at the sleeve very well, the first sleeve started from the shoulder line. Okay, and that one too was like around 2 inches. So we're going to be using 2 inches. Hope you can see that, 2 inches for that off sleeve. Okay, and then for the neck, it started from eye neck. Okay, so from my eye neck, so we're going to just draw it down to meet with this one, and then it will continue like this. But according to what you have on that dress, the way you now continue to one side, it's now went up just like that instead of the curve. So this other side is not the curve, you just bring it up gradually in the curve, and then they meet the armhole. Okay, so from your eye neck to the middle of the body, right to just, if you want to follow this shape, you can still follow it. That means you can still go this curve. You don't have to follow any design you see accordingly. I'm just going to be working according to what I saw on the form. Okay, I saw that this was more than 2 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to be working according to what I have on the body's form to define this one. Okay, so moving on, we are done with one side. Then the other side now, the first sleeve started from the shoulder line. Yeah, so this is definitely my shoulder line, and then what you just drew it, the shoulder line into your eye neck. So you just draw your shoulder line into your eye neck. You can use your curve. I'm just using my hand so that you can see. I can still use my curve to define it into this one. Then that sleeve too, I'm going to say maybe it was like a 2 inches, or I can use like a 1.5 for it. So 1.5. Then obviously that one will also be coming out to, it will extend out. So but the extension will not be as high as this one. So what you need to do for this side is to, this your armhole line, draw it just gradually into the shoulder line. Draw it gradually into the shoulder line. You can see that. Draw it into the shoulder line. Hope you can see. I'm trying to shade well so that you can see. So draw it into the shoulder line. Okay, so the first one will start from here, then the next one, let me still leave it at that 2 inches. Then you also draw this one too into that bodice that you've drawn. Yeah, then so after you've drawn it, I'm trying to look at it, then the next thing is you link. The next thing is that according to the picture, so you've drawn this, the next thing is to create that spacing. So from this upper, the second sleeve, now you just draw your curve into the first sleeve. So just draw your curve into the first sleeve. If you like, you can, you know, take it in a little into the bodice. I'm trying to meet halfway. Okay, so into the bodice, and then we have the rest. Okay, so I think that was what they did. I'm also just interpreting it now. This is all called style interpretation. Okay, so our armhole, our bodice, and then we have the asymmetric neckline. Now let me cut. So if you want to cut the normal one, if it's the normal offness, we just be cutting this. So I did 2 in 1. I taught you how to do the normal off shoulder cut together, and then but this one is not the asymmetric. So according to what they have now, we will be following their own design. So I'm just going to cut on. Don't forget that all my allowances will be added on the middle. If you want this middle to be deeper than this, please you can deepen it a little bit. Then also this side, there was a little curve. There, so I'm just going to use my scissors. That's the essence of working with the paper now. You can adjust. I'm just going to use the scissors to do that curve gradually. Okay, so out. Then let me finish up. So the first sleeve is going, you know, like this. Then we go in, and then we come back out. So you can see that I'm just adjusting slightly, just to, you know, get whatever I desire. And then we cut the armhole now. So this is where your hand will just come out from. Cut the armhole, and then, you know, the bodice. Okay, so this is our sleeve, right? I'm also going to make the dress, because I love something that is not just regular. So it struck me because it wasn't a regular sleeve, so we just have that like that. Okay, so that's the end. That's just the wrap. Simple as ABC. Then, okay, so let's look at the picture. Let's be sure that I will have something really close. So this is the picture and the neckline that we have done. So let's start from this side of the neck. Now you can see that this side is just one sleeve, and there's a slanted curve. That's just what we call style interpretation. I don't know, I hope you can see. Then there's a slanted curve to the middle. Now if you want to follow this dress particularly, there's a line in the middle of the body, so that means they slit it into 2, but I will do my own without slitting into 2. You can just do what I did. Then okay, now my own, the only difference I see that my own is sharp, your own is not a sharp curve, but still I'm still on paper. I can just do that. So I'm just going to, you know, curve it a little to the side. It wasn't sharply in the middle because it's actually not on, it's not actually on a collarbone. So I'm just going to, and I'm just going to, you know, erase this sharp edge. So that's what we call just, you know, style interpretation. You have to, you know, look at this type from all angles. Okay, so from there to this side. We have the first sleeve, we have the old cutout, we have the second sleeve. This is just right on the shoulder line, and the second one is just on the normal bodice here. So, and you can see this space is the armhole. So by the time you make your dress and then it stays on the body, your hand will come out from here. So don't forget, you still add your allowance when you are cutting out the body's allowance. To this one, you're just going to add half-inch allowance all the way. So for this one, if you are going to make the dress, for this place to stand and not fall, because if you don't put an interface, this space will fall. So you have to interface it. You can use your stay, you can use the stay. I think stay will just do it, but use the art stay. So you're going to have your fabric, your interfacing, and maybe your other fabric. So this is the front. I'm not sure how the back design would be, but definitely with the way it is, it has to have these two sleeves at the back too. But if I was the one making this at the back, I won't put this angle. So definitely at the back, let me show you what I will do for my own dress. So if you want to just copy me, so it's a dress here, stopping at the half length, and then there's the pencil down part. So you can make it a dress, you can make it a blouse, you can make it anything. It's the neckline that I'm particular about. I'm sure every other thing is what you can easily handle and see. But if I get a material, I can just do the dress complete and have the slit in front. So I think after this video, I will just get the skirt bodies and teach us how you can do that slit. Okay, so if I'm going to work on the skirt, so if you've not subscribed, please do. We will be completing this dress in another video. Yeah, so if I wanted to do the back left to me, I will just so I'll just be curving this my shoulder line. I'll just curve it into the neckline here, so that the back neck, and another thing I might do is that my back neck might be deeper. I like low back, so I might just deepen my back neck. But obviously, you know that even if I deepen it, it has to end at the same place. It has to end on the armhole at the same place. Okay, so if I deepen it like this at the back, and then I also go all the way like that to this first step. So anyhow you want, you can do the back. So I'm on paper, so don't mind my rough patterns. By the time I'm defining it on fabric, I'll be sure of what I want. But left to me, I'm deepening the pencil so that you can see. I'm going to have the back just curved like that, low back, and I can use this one, I can use this one, but the front I'm going to retain it like this. So that's how you can cut this. Gives us the thumbs up if you learned something from the video. Like our page, subscribe, put on the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and in another video I will talk about the skirts and how you can do this flare. Yeah, thank you for watching, and bye for now.